Yo, Blaney, what's for lunch?
You know what, Chef Donny? I would love a Beef Wellington this afternoon.
A challenge, let's go.
I'm a private chef, cook for money, yeah.
Guys, welcome back to What's for Lunch. Today, we're joined by 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion, Ryan Blaney. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate you having me.
So, Beef Wellington.
Yeah, you know, figured I'd challenge you today.
What made you think that?
Not something I eat very often at all. I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
He does a lot of Wellingtons, and I ate a lot of them when I was over in Europe.
To begin, I thought you were just messing with me. You're like, let's just make the hardest thing. Let's make Donny work and do Beef Wellington. At least you've eaten it. At least you had it over in Europe. That makes me feel a little better. You weren't just completely fucking with me, so.
No. Well, I want to put your skills to the test. I mean, you're a very talented chef, and this is a challenging meal.
It is.
You know?
It is. It does not. It's not a quick one. So I've kind of pre-made some stuff. So I'll walk you through the steps. Let's get going. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's start. All right. Most important part. We need our beef tenderloin, some puff pastry. That's what everything's getting wrapped in. Next, we have some prosciutto, our duxelle. These are mushrooms that you chop up, and this becomes our middle filling. But what we're gonna do now is sear this off and kind of get started. Do you like to cook?
Every now and then, my fiance is the Italian chef in the family.
Okay.
So
All right.
pasta. I like to watch her cook.
Okay, well, today we're gonna put you to work. I'm gonna watch you cook. We're gonna see how you do. We'll put this in the oven. It'll be done in a while, but I'm gonna walk you through the steps and kind of let you have fun with this one.
Sure.
So to start, let's get this seared off. I want to just throw some salt on that. What's a NASCAR driver diet like? Is it like professional? Because people are always like, oh, they're not athletes. I know personally that it's a very hard sport. It's very physically taxing. Do you have to eat accordingly for that?
I try to eat well, especially on the race weekends. I eat like pretty well. Like my race day meal is like chicken and rice. Like
Okay.
It's very bland, but something I'm not going to regret. Like mile 300.
Right.
But yeah, I try to eat as decently as I can.
Chicken and rice that was Julian Edelman's pregame meal every day too.
Really?
So, yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah. Super Bowl, 3-time Super Bowl champion, and you guys have something in common there. You have anything fun you like to eat after a big race?
I'll eat anything post race.
Yeah.
I've already lost like 5 pounds in the car.
Sure.
So I'm just ready to eat anything. Like a Taco Bell post-race run is the best thing in the world.
Really?
Oh,
Okay, I like that. All right, so now we're gonna sear this off. But we want this super high, super hot. We're gonna get really good crust on this. The only time we're gonna be able to build a sear is right now because we're wrapping it all in our prosciutto and our puff pastry, so we want to get really good color on it right now.
Okay.
So we're not worried about cooking it through or overcooking. It's going to do most of the cooking in the oven. So the stage one is to get a good sear on that.
What made you want to be a chef?
I started cooking. My uncle used to own restaurants in New York City when I was a kid. So growing up, I'd go out there and visit, and I started working in the kitchen in the summer, and then came back, got my first job in Minnesota as a prep cook, washing dishes, cutting vegetables. And then college, I ran a catering company, catering business. How old were you when you first started racing?
I was 9 when I started, like go-karts and stuff.
Hey.
So I was pretty young, but that's pretty common. Like I know kids that were like 5, like when
Really?
they started racing.
So you start to walk and you start to race. It's kind of just in the blood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is racing a sport to get into? You kind of have to have family connections. Is that pretty common? Most racers come from like a lineage of other racers.
I know kids who've had family members in it, and I know kids who have started from nothing. You know, like no racing background whatsoever. You can go either way.
I have a bit of a racing background myself. I won a school bus race, full 12-foot school bus. That was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. But then it turns into a demolition derby, last bus standing wins. So it's like the second part of the race was just see how many buses you can get
Oh,
flipped.
wow. So they're done with these buses after one
Yeah,
race.
They don't last. Yeah, they don't last. It was quite the scene. It was fun. So what the prosciutto is doing is because we're wrapping it in the puff pastry, when the meat starts to cook, there's juices, everything that comes out of it. It can get super soggy. So this is kind of creating a barrier, a layer in between that. So you start with this layer, and I'll have you start kind of spreading the mushrooms out on top of that, just like that. So just go around like the border of that would be perfect. We can put all of it on. Just
Oh, you're gonna put all of it on?
Yeah. Because we really want to create that layer so that the moisture is kind of staying
perfect.
and not getting out. If you were to cook for yourself, what would be your go-to? What's your first meal that's coming to your head?
I feel like I can make a decent steak,
Okay.
like a sirloin or something.
Yeah.
I'm not patient enough to cook either.
Patience comes with it. Say you're making a big meal and you have to make sauces and sides. You start with one thing, and if you do them all as you're cooking, then you fill all your time up, so you're not really waiting as much. But then if something goes wrong, you're fucked. So it's a give and take for sure with that. All right, so that's seared off. Next step, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spread mustard on this. Now you can say you went from not really cooking a lot to making Beef Wellington.
Making fucking Beef
Took the
Wellington.
leap. You went and climbed Mount Everest before you did any small mountains before.
They say crawl before you walk, but we're running.
Exactly, we're
today.
sprinting.
That's right, yeah.
And this is the Gordon Ramsay version. Usually you would make a foie gras or a pate instead of the mushroom.
Okay.
But that's gonna add another couple hours to our process.
Right.
Okay, we're looking good here. Now, do you want to attempt the roll? I think you kind of have.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
All right, you're gonna use the plastic. That's the key here. You're gonna bring it up and then just start to tuck. Pull. pull, yep. Now pull hard, yep. And now switch your grip to here, and now start rolling it. There you go, perfect. Now stop right there, and just bring it in and make sure it's tight, and crimp the sides like that. And we really use a plastic wrap. Now take a knife. So we're gonna get this flour. Anytime you're using dough like this, flour's your best friend. If it starts to stick, that's when game over. Yeah. All right, let's roll this out here. I'm sure you've asked this all the time, but do you go fast when you're not driving?
No, I'm a very slow driver on the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because you go fast for a living, or
For a living, yeah. I have no desire I need to go fast on the roads. Like,
really?
Yeah. And people are shocked by that always. They're like, can't believe you're not a speed demon on the roads. I'm like, well, they don't pay me to do it. And if I go really fast on the roads, I just go to jail. So it's like, it's not worth it.
All right, that looks perfect.
So we use egg too?
Egg is what's gonna hold all the dough together. That's gonna be our binder, and then we're gonna wash it on top. That's whenever you're baking with puff pastry, you do an egg wash, and that's how you get a golden color. If you didn't do egg wash, it wouldn't turn golden. All right, so now we're just gonna put egg around the border here, and then we'll do a final wrap. And this one's not as hard, and we don't need too much of the dough, so we can actually trim it here. We're gonna cut some little shapes. So I like to put little leaves kind of like this on to make it a little fancier. So you want to cut a couple of those. All right, we are almost done. You want to just brush an egg right on top. Yep.
This gets it crispy.
Yep, like golden shine, exactly. Perfect. So now we can just stick these on wherever we want. All right, we are done. We're gonna pop this in the oven.
Throw the oven?
And then we'll have a beef Wellington. Yeah, so you want to throw her in right here? That'll cook for about 30 minutes. And you guys have the NASCAR street race coming up here, July 7th in Chicago.
Yeah, we're back for the second year. So last year was the first year we ever did a street race. Yeah, we're coming back. July 4th weekend is super cool.
I'll be around that weekend, so I'll definitely be there. Guys, make sure you check it out. Yeah, July 7th in Chicago, NASCAR street race. And I think they have the air show. The Blue Flying Angels are here too.
I think so.
It's a fun weekend.
And I won't make you cook any beef Wellington.
Okay, we'll barbecue. We'll do steaks. We'll do something easy. We'll have fun with that one. But here we go. We have our beef Wellington. Let's slice into this. What do you say?
Yeah, so that's the fun thing with these, right? Like you don't know.
You don't know if you overcooked it or not.
So you cut it open. Oh, it's ideal.
Look at that.
Look at it. Look at that thing.
Beef Wellington. Look at that. That's
Donny.
the first and last What's for Lunch beef Wellington I think I'm ever gonna make. Ryan, that's the best Wellington I've ever made. It's all because of him right here. And then we'll finish off this little demi-glaze, so beef stock that you reduce until it gets thick like this, and that'll be our little sauce on the side. I'll put this with some mashed potatoes or something like that. That'd be a perfect Christmas meal right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Tag team match on the Wellington. The new Wellington champs over here.
Boom. And Ryan, one last thing before you go. Got my cookbook.
Oh, man.
So now you can take some skills. This is for beginners too. So honestly, like it starts out with what pots and pans to have, and it builds up. So you'll be cooking just as good as your wife.
Can you sign it?
Of course.
I need your autograph. I need Chef Donny's autograph. Making the best beef Wellington I've ever had in my life.
And I got actually one thing for you to sign. All the guests that come through sign this. So guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of What's for Lunch. That was Ryan Blaney. See you guys next time.